Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Thomas back at you with another video. And today I'm going to be talking about a investment idea per se. So this video, I'm going to be talking about precious metals, specifically gold and silver. I don't intend to get into platinum and palladium or a lot of other ones. I think that gold and silver are kind of the baseline ones. So I intend to talk about those specifically today. But without further ado, let's just get into it and kind of look at the data here. So I've got two articles here that I plan to look at, and then I'm also going to be reviewing the history of both gold and silver. So first off is silver, and this is from Business Insider, and they're asking, is silver still a good investment? And so, they kind of go through a history of it and why or why not. One thing I do want to look at though is the risks of investing. And so sensitive to recession as it's driven by industrial growth, unpredictable price moves, as it has a history of it's been choppy with the price, and then obviously vulnerable to technological shifts. There's always something else that could come along and be just as good. The one that comes to mind is platinum. Platinum is really the big one that kind of came out and took a lot of value in the market. And so, okay, personally, I prefer silver to gold as an investment. And actually, I should rephrase that. I'm going to say investment with hesitance, and I'm going to expand on that towards the end of this. But I don't want to say it's an investment, but to an extent it is. So, the big thing here is silver is cheaper than gold, without a shadow of a doubt. Now, silver has gone up in price quite a bit. When I started investing in it a couple of years back, it was about $20 an ounce, give or take. Now it's at about 38 or so. It's quite up there. But on the other hand, gold is a lot easier to store than silver. So like an ounce of gold or a gram of gold is worth more than an ounce of silver is. And so, it's easier to build up a large amount of gold and to keep that on stash as opposed to a lot of silver. Like the exchange of weight there is not equal. And so, it's a lot easier to carry gold. So if you're looking for something that has more value as far as just storage capacity goes and less is more, then gold is probably your better friend here. And also, it's just that the volatility on silver is just not quite matched with gold, as it's just been more up and down, especially in the past 20 years or so, as opposed to gold. Not that gold has a stable track record, but compared to silver, it's just not, it's doing better. But let's jump over and look at this article from Investopedia. I guess we want to call it an article. I don't think Investopedia necessarily makes articles, and as before, I'll be linking these down below so you guys can look through them yourselves. Obviously, I don't want to read through the whole article. I do want to highlight what I found important. And what I found important in this one is actually like way at the bottom. And it's right here. Is it a bad time to invest in gold? So we already covered more or less if gold's better than silver. What are the pros and cons necessarily? And obviously, I made the comparison of volatility and then obviously weight. And you might be thinking, Thomas, it doesn't matter if it like weighs a lot more. If you're carrying around a bag of gold and a bag of silver, I'm telling you, a couple ounces of silver, it's gonna be a lot more to carry around than a bag of gold, and so it doesn't provide for easy transportation per se. But the one thing I want to point out in this article is a bad time to invest in gold. So compared to the S&P 500 in the last 5 years, according to this article, gold has underperformed by quite a bit. The S&P index generated nearly 100% on total returns compared to gold returning 42.5%. And so I'm going to just jump over here and look at the prices. But what I'm seeing from this, and what it's been doing over the past, since 1991, since 1991 to today, this is silver right now. It was a very consistent trek, more or less. And then we had this huge spike in the late 2000s, more or less early 2010s, around 2011. And then it dropped again, and it had a little bit of a dip in here. And then we had a little bit of a gain again. Now, compared to gold, gold has had somewhat more of a steady track. There's been an increase, a little bit of a drop, downfall, and an increase. But here's the thing, guys. I don't consider gold and silver investments per se, just because there's not a guarantee that they're going to go up in value. I would say they're more of an insurance policy on what you already have. So at the end of the day, they're worth money, and you can take them into your pawn shop, or whoever it is going to buy them from you, and they will give you cash for them. But the consistent value is not necessarily there. They have the effects of just limited resources on their side. So there's a limited amount, and that does drive value with them. However, it does not mean that the price is going to necessarily follow along with that. So if you put money into an index fund or a mutual fund, your return on that would honestly be like much better than it would be as opposed to investing in gold and silver. That being said, I do think that 2 to 5% of your existing wealth, I think it should be in some gold and silver, because they're still valuable assets. If you need to sell out, people will buy them from you without a question of a doubt. They're easily convertible into cash, and that's really the big thing. It might take a lot more for you to sell your car, which you're probably not going to want to do, as opposed to selling your bars of gold or bars of silver or coins, whatever floats your boat there. So they're more of an insurance policy. So don't necessarily think of them as an investment. Don't think, okay, by buying this bar of gold today, I'm going to be making a substantial amount of money off of it in the future. While that could be true, you should be thinking about it in more terms of, okay, if I buy this bar of gold today, I'll have it to sell in the future when I don't have anything else to sell. It should not necessarily be maybe this will turn into a lot of money in the future, just because of the fact that most economies don't run on gold. And so, I mean, in the worst case scenario, we start using gold as a medium of currency again, but everybody sees value in gold and silver. And so if you are out of options, in the sense that you don't have anything else to sell or anything else that you want to sell right now, these would be your best route to go. And honestly, like, if we look at it from an investing perspective, suppose you have stocks and funds in your portfolio, but they're doing very well. Maybe you don't necessarily want to sell those right away because they're going to keep going up in value. But your gold and silver are a little more stagnant. Maybe it's part of an investment that you're more inclined to let go of in order to rebalance whatever it is you need to in your financial situation. And so I think, as far as investing in gold and silver, it's not an investment. It's an insurance policy on your future finances per se, because they will always hold a store of value. But at the same time, they're not necessarily significant gainers, but they will give you a return when you need them to. Or if anything, at least they will give you money. They're a guaranteed source of money. So that's going to conclude this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm going to try to put out some more content this week and keep a consistent schedule going up. I appreciate all the new support, a lot of new subscribers. If you guys want to see specific videos from me, let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to start working on those. Sometimes I need to take a little bit of time to do some research on these topics, but I will read through your comments. I look through them. I do want to hear from you guys. So make sure to like, share, subscribe. hit the bell icon for future videos so you always get notified. And thanks so much for all the new support. I hope you guys all have a good one.